Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. First off, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and today we're working on Project Frankenstang. Yesterday I came out, I put epoxy primer down on the floors and the trunk area. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to do some 2K in the trunk area and a couple spots I want to smooth up before I paint. Nothing major, just minor stuff. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I've got my sound deadener kind of laid out on the driver's side underneath where the seat where it goes. Normally when I do that I'll try to fit it up about as factory as I can make it look. Trying to find big pieces of sound deadener to do it all in one shot's getting kind of hard to do. So I'll show you what kind of sound deadener I bought. I got it off eBay. No big deal. If somebody knows where to find some bigger sheets, that'd be awesome. Hit me up. Let me know. Comes in handy when you're trying to make stuff look OE. So without rambling too much, I'll show you what I'm talking about inside the trunk. I'll show you the floors and those little pinholes I welded up yesterday before I put the epoxy down. Looks really nice. All right, so checking it all out now. For those who watch the videos, I stripped all this area, took all the old sound deadener out, etch prime, epoxy prime. This is what I'm talking about. I got a couple of sand scratches I want to hit with some 2K. Now I'll take the plug back out because I want to prime that. I'll take this all, clean it all up, 2K, and then smooth this area up to get all the sand scratches out. Now up in here, you've got some little areas that were kind of light surface rust. It takes a little bit of metal out. So I'll hit that with 2K and then smooth it up tomorrow before I paint inside the trunk area. Again, this side over here, super, super nice. I did the wheel wells inside the car on both sides. I'm going to re-seam seal this back in here. I cleaned all that up, took most of the old seam seal out, but I'm put some new stuff back in there. And that looks really well. And then there's some stuff in here too. So now, walk inside over here. This is the epoxy inside the car. Turned out really, really nice. There was a hole here I had to weld up. There was one here. There's another one over here I had to weld back up, and there was one right here. But everything is good to go. I'm going to re-seam seal the area around the rockers all the way down up the firewall area like factory does, and also on this side, and then sound deaden underneath the back seats and overlap right here on this down piece right here with sound deadener. Now, like I said, I'll show you the sound deadener I got. I wish I could find a little bit bigger sheets. Again, if anybody knows where to find them in a pretty good size sheet to maybe do like one floor, the whole piece, one shot, that'd be awesome. Just let me know. I'll show you what I'm using real quick. All right, so today, this is the stuff I got off the old Evil Bays right here. I bought a new brush for doing the seam sealer. These damn things are expensive, y'all. 15 bucks for a brush. I got the roller for rolling the sound deadener on. Heat gun for the sound deadener. Sometimes you want to heat it up, stretch it, make sure it's hot, nice and hot and sticks well. And this is the seam sealer I'm using. Just 3M or SEM white seam sealer. Nothing major. So when I say nothing major, that's probably 300 bucks worth of shit right there. So when people talk about restoring these cars and trying to do stuff on a budget, you can't do nothing budget anymore. So if you find a nice Fox for 18 to 20 that's super clean, buy it. Because just trying to redo one of these cars, if you knew what I had in this car right now, you'd probably shit. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm going to try to set the camera up so y'all can watch me do some of the seam sealing. If you want to watch it, ain't no big deal. I get it. And show y'all how I do the sound deadener. It's not a big deal either. I'm going to run the heater a little bit longer, heat the floor pan up under the car, and get the heat gun out, warm up some of my sound deadener, and get that ready as well. Probably do the sound deadener first, and then do the seam sealer. So if you want to hang out, watch out, or hang out and watch some of this stuff, hang with us. All right, so if you want to watch some of this going down, then I got my old heat gun hooked up over there to the extension cord. I started off, laid this one piece. Wasn't really sure where I wanted to start at. Now this is kind of up to y'all on how you want to do it. I started right here underneath the trunk drop down area on the sound deadener and just kind of get like a 2-inch gap. Like I said, if you guys know where to get this in bigger sections, that'd be awesome and take up less material and take less time too. Now doing it with smaller pieces is a little easier to work, if that makes any sense. But right now I got this piece started. I had the heater on, laid this down the tunnel. I got this kind of warmed up so it's pliable, it's easy to work with. The heat gun's going to help me. It also helps heat this up and stretch this material so you can get it in between these little divots in the floor so it kind of looks factory. So I'm going to go ahead and lay down this other section. Get this part here done, show y'all kind of how to do it. Like I said, I got the little roller for doing it as well. And we'll get this other piece laid down real quick. Like I said, there ain't much to it but to do it, like they used to say. But basically, just walk it, start off and kind of, it's going to lay in crooked. So what I like to normally try to do is bring it straight down this edge right here, and then as straight to this piece as I can get. And then up here in the back where it's going to overlap this piece, you can trim it straight to butt it up to this piece you already put down. I just try to keep this piece straight when I fold it over this down like dog leg area right here. So I'll go ahead and get this started first. Okay, so if you don't have a roller, you don't have to buy one of these. It just makes it easier to make sure it's stuck to the floor. I've seen people do it without. I've done it without. They're not very expensive. I think it was like $6 or $7 on the old Amazon or something like that. This little piece right here, I'm just going to cut that with a razor blade right there, and then put it under that right there, so it lays down nice and flat. And then, like I said, this area, it's going to angle down like this. Just kind of walk it down. So it's not hard to do. You kind of see it's just taking the shape of the floor. Now, the heat gun, you can use it to heat it up. The heat gun does smooth it out, but it does help it adhere to the floor as well. It's kind of cold in here, so adhesion is kind of the main concern when you're doing it, just to make sure it sticks to the floor. Now, right in here, you can't see it, but right where it angles down right here, it's getting really tight, and it doesn't want to go to the floor. And that's where the heat gun, when you heat this stuff up, it allows it to stretch. You don't want to get it super hot, just enough where it gives the sound deadener enough room to stretch. Again, once I get this all laid down on the floor, I'll kind of show you all what it looks like when I'm done. All right, so that piece laid down pretty good. I'll go ahead and get this on pause. I'm going to get the side completely done and show you guys what this side looks like when I'm finished. Again, just trying to show you guys how to do this. If you're watching, I appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can hit me up below or foxjunk73@gmail.com. So let me get the side done and I'll show you what it looks like. Hang tight. All right, so I do apologize. I got a little carried away. And you guys that work on stuff, you know how it is. You start, it's hard to stop. Got all the sound deadener laid in. Looks really nice. I did go ahead and seam seal it. I do apologize. The seam sealer is easy. You just lay it in and then brush it on. I'll show you what it looks like. It looks just like the factory would have did it. And when you pull the carpet out of these cars and you look at the area where they put the seam sealer in, it's not the nicest. So you can make it pretty if you want. Use tape. Peel the tape off, make it look nice and professional, whatever, but they don't look that way from the factory. So I kind of try to do it the way the factory did it. If you want to do it a little more professional looking, that's up to you too. I'll show you the sound deadener. Turned out super nice, and the seam sealer. What I'm going to do after I show you all this, I'm going to go ahead and put a little epoxy primer on the sound deadener, just so when I go to put the red down, it covers super easy. It's not something you have to do. You can paint right over top of it. It don't hurt anything. To me, I don't have a lot of extra paint to be wasting on the floor pan on the inside of the car, so it'll cover over the gray a lot easier than in black. So let's check it out real quick. All right, so there's what the sound deadener looked like. Like I said, you can butt it up. You don't have to have one piece. It turned out super good. Everything laid down nice. You see the seam sealer? It's got a nice, good. I used that brush just like the factory did, and it looks just like factory. Yeah, it's real fat. It's got the lines in it, and this is just what it looked like when I took the floors out all the way around. And then I took it up into the cowl area over there as well. So seam sealer looks really, really good. And that's the sound deadener. Got all laid down really nice. Like I said, you can still see some of the weld on this one. I didn't bring it over to cover that, but you can't see it underneath it here. So once you get that painted, it basically looks like factory. You can't really tell it apart. Now back here in the back, that seam sealed back like I said I was going to do. I took all the old seam sealer out of here because it was all nasty. If you see, I scuffed this down. It shows a little silver, so this stuff does have some aluminum in it, and that's what makes it heavy. That's what makes it basically stick to it. And this is this side over here. Lay down really nice. Scuff that down. I think it's looking super nice compared to what I started with. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, mix up a little bit of epoxy, just enough to cover that black, and maybe we'll put a little bit on the seam sealer. It's been down for probably 20 minutes now. This is paintable seam sealer. I get it at your local paint store. It's not something you might try the stuff at Lowe's. I don't know if that DAP stuff works. I mean, that bathroom caulking, it might be just as good as the SEM seam sealer. Who knows? I've never tried it. I know this SEM's 20 bucks a tube or $28 a tube or something like that. Not cheap stuff. So yep, let me go ahead and get this primered. Show you what it looks like with a little bit of color. It'll look like factory. Hang in there if you're still watching. I appreciate it. All right, so those of you still sticking with this video today, I appreciate that. Again, if you ain't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps a little bit. Not much. So I got epoxy primer on the sound deadener. Looks super nice. I let it flash off for about 45 minutes to an hour. Then I put epoxy or 2K primer on top of the areas that had those little small rust pits. Couldn't figure out what the hell to call them earlier. That's what they are, rust pits. So I'll show you what that looks like. So tomorrow I'll come in, I'll hit those areas with 220, and if I got most of them out, I'll probably just let it ride and then hit it with a scuff pad and then put some paint on it. If they're still kind of there, and I know it's under carpet, but I want it to look good if anybody ever pulls the carpet out in another 10 or 15 years if I don't have the car. But so I'll show what it looks like real quick. Let me know what you think. All right, so that's the sound deadener. I got it all epoxy primed. It's flashed off really good. Floor looks really nice. You can see the little rust pits I'm talking about. Those have a lot of 2K. I candy coated the hell out of that. So that was kind of my nickname back in vocational school, candy coat. I like to put primer on real heavy. So let's check out the back. There's the rear. Looking really nice. Like I said, it flashed off really good. It's nice and dry with an epoxy primer. You can still see the little rust pits a little bit. That's got a lot of primer on there. That should fill in. Sand that off with 220. If I have to put a little bit of primer on top of it when I'm done, that should be good. Sand scratch is filled in really nice. And there's that. Now, ooh, yeah, seam sealer. Let's check it out. This shit looks just like factory. Look at that seam sealer. It looks just like the floor when I took it out. Hell yeah. Up in there, looks good. Go down to rockers. Rockers looking super nice. All that looks factory. All the way up in there. Hell yeah. So yeah, that's it. So that's it for this video. I appreciate y'all to watch. If I'm helping you guys out do these cars at home, that's what this channel is all about. These cars have been popular forever since they came out. I know back in the day we did a lot of shows, Civil Wars at Rockingham and Darlington, and you had the internet back in the day, stangnet.com, crown.com. So those of you know what I'm talking about by hitting at that. Somebody made a video there that really kind of torqued me a little bit. By the end of that video, really pissed me off. I don't want to go there, but I need to just a little bit. I appreciate anybody that does these kind of videos and trying to help the FoxBody community. I appreciate anybody that's out there, even if you don't like me. That's fine. If you're doing a deal and you're making content and you're helping the guys out, that's awesome. But for that one individual, and you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, if you think that you starting something back in 2015 made the Fox bodies popular, got another thing coming, brother. I was building these cars when I was 16 years old. I was building these cars on MustangWeek.com back before, way back. I built the Teal Terminator. Google that car. Mach Vert. Google that car. Mystic 93 Cobra. Google that car. I was building these cars a long time ago. And that was back before there was a venue like YouTube that you could put stuff on. Again, I didn't mean to go there with this video, but I needed to touch on that a little bit. I don't have anything against this guy, but to say that if he hadn't done anything back in 2015, Fox Bodies wouldn't get any love at all. There's a lot of editors that people go back and look. I know a lot of editors. I just want to use their names. I don't want to get them involved in this video or whatever, or this content, or whatever you want to call it. But for anybody that thinks they're the OG because they started something in 2015, get your shit straight, bro. You ain't nothing but just like the rest of us. You know, if you did YouTube first, hey, good on you. That's awesome. But what I took out of that video, at the end of that video, is if you hadn't done anything in 2015, the FoxBodies wouldn't be where they're at, and they wouldn't get any their recognition. Man, these guys, these cars, since they came out new, I was racing my pace car in 1991 on the street. Guys were up in New Jersey racing these cars at the drag strip in the 90s and the early 80s. These cars have always been popular. Mustang Week did FoxBody Cruise back when Mustang Week first started and all this other stuff. So, yeah. That's all I want to go there. It really just pissed me off. Let me know if y'all felt the same about if you watched that video. First of all, it was damn clickbait. I sold my car. Sorry, man. Grown men don't cry. We all get attached to shit, but ain't anything gonna make me cry but my family. That's it. Ain't no car gonna do that for me. If you're clicking on somebody's feelings or pulling on heartstrings to get views or clicks or whatever, you need to find a different job, because that's not what this should be about. This should be about helping the community, showing people how to fix stuff when they need help, which is what I try to do. Show people that you can do stuff kind of on a budget and still do it right. And show them what parts, that's my big thing, showing people what parts out there work and don't work, how to adjust doors and do this other stuff. That's what it's about, just helping the FoxBody community. If you're putting videos out there for clickbait, man, don't be doing that shit. We ain't got time for that. Again, I apologize for ranting just a little bit. If you guys need to know what I'm talking about, hit me up, foxjunk73@gmail.com. If you know what I'm talking about and you agree with me, you know, I was cool with that video till the last like 5 minutes. After that, man, come on, bro. These cars have always been popular. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know what you think Frankenstang looks like from where we started. Let me know how you think the floors look. If they look factory, I think they look freaking amazing, just like they were before I cut the car in two. Now I'm hoping to get the inside painted, get the bottom painted, get the rear end taken apart. We're going to do a video on detailing the 93 Cobra rear end, doing the brake lines, rubber lines, hard lines, redoing the calipers, rotors, and all that stuff to make it look like a nice factory assembly line rear end before we put it in the car. As that's kind of where I'm going with at least the back half. Again, let me know what you think about the car. I'm going to think about content. And yeah, sorry for that little rant, but y'all know I'm right. Y'all, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Have a good day.